Merry 10th day of Christmas. They're really rolling along, aren't they? I hope you're still celebrating, and thanks for celebrating with us in this devotional time, 12 days of Christmas pandemic style at Prince of Peace Lutheran Church. Hope you're enjoying the readings and the singing especially. Let me be clear about this today. Pastor John gave me the choice of preaching on the first or the second Sunday of Christmas, and I immediately chose the first. Because, most of us don't hear today's reading from the beginning of John's Gospel as a Christmas story at all. So I wisely let Pastor John handle that one. And I hope you tuned into our online worship today. I have not yet, but we will. And we're so thankful for the music and the chance to celebrate Eucharist together and for Pastor John's preaching. But it is an amazing reading. And I hope you'll sit just a little bit longer today than normal with it. And maybe what I love to do is maybe hold a baby Jesus in your hand. And there are lots of different shades of baby Jesus, which is an important part of the story. And just contemplate the enormity of a phrase as simple as verse 14 in the reading. And the Word became flesh and lived among us. For most of us, it's hard to see Jesus as human. Even though we have elevated Christmas to one of the high holidays of the church year, and I frankly think I'd argue that it's harder to see him as human, even though he's whipped and spat on and crucified. All of that is God. All of that is God made flesh, living among us, dying among us, and yes, thank you, Jesus, rising and ascending into heaven, and promising that he, Jesus, will always be with us. Because of the nature of the text, and that's why I passed it off to Pastor John. This is a hard one to find a jolly hymn to express all of the mystery of the text. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with it in worship today, and I know you're going to like what we're doing here in this devotion. For these devotions, we went to a hymn that was considered, but ultimately not included in our new hymnal. Not because it wasn't good, but because you can't include every good hymnal and still fit it in a pew rack. You'd have way too many. The book would be like this. It's a 6th century text. Again, it's updated by a guy named Gilbert Doane in the late 1900s. It's basically also a praise song, a song sung to God. But if you'll think for a moment, it was created somewhere in the 500s, a long time ago. And it's sung to a tune that I'm sure you'll know, Puer Nobis, by Michael Pretorius in the late 16th century. We know that tune from the song On Jordan's Bank, the Baptist Cry. I love the last line that we'll sing. In verse 4, one precious truth outshines the sun. Salvation comes from you alone, O God. Special thanks to John and Emily Nevergall for connecting us to the mystery of faith, that the Word has become flesh and lives among us.